Extension where it's breakout.
They break out. Oh, that should be, well. Yeah.
I don't know, so I couldn't tell.
Morning, man.
Just gonna say.
Dedicated to
Yeah, everybody forgive me, I'm because it's a small room. So, we ask that everybody, keep their tones down, and then as your cases are called, just go right up there and they'll see.
I know last.
And then as the cases are called, they'll let you out the door and they will be bringing more people in.
Timing about it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know it's not really what it is.
Could slide in
They had trouble getting.
this way so we could get,
Here, maybe I could get two more people here. Plus,
there you go.
well, we can put that here, so they don't think you're opposition. Sorry. Oh, may I impose on you to close the door? Thank you.
Goes down. Goes up.
Yeah.
Thanks, tight, everybody. We're gonna give it a couple minutes for our fifth commissioner and
Understand.
one of our staff.
Who is here for 4651 North Milwaukee? Okay, why don't I have you switch with the gentleman in the blue? And then, because then your case is gonna be the first after the continuances.
Got a copy. Yeah. Oh, it'll take a nice layer here.
Sure.
Okay,
So,
stand.
if someone's gonna steal
You
Look at these other.
didn't laminate any for the rest of them? We're not, we're.
To level here.
Oh, really one signature, okay. It's like I thought you guys were. Simply sign. Yeah.
This gets started to get for 'em,
Yeah.
so.
Good to go.
All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the December 20th, 2024 meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. My name is Brian Sanchez and I am the chairman of the ZBA. With me today are Commissioners Adrian Soto to my right, Commissioner Helen Schiller, Commissioner Angela Brooks to my left. We'll see if Commissioner Swati Sealy joins us a little bit later. At this point, I want to call this meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals to order, and I will take a roll call vote to establish a quorum. Commissioner Soto.
Here.
Commissioner Schiller.
Here.
Commissioner Brooks.
Here.
I am present, quorum is established. The minutes of November's meeting have been distributed. Unless there are corrections, I move that we approve the minutes as distributed. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the minutes are approved. I move that we approve today's agenda. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the agenda is approved. Now we'll take continuances and withdrawals. Counselor?
Chairman, I actually have two separate matters, if I could do the, go out of order. The bottom of page 5, it's 509-4S, 205 through 15 with 95th Street. I sent in a motion for continuance, when we knew that there was a conflict with, schedules just with the upcoming holidays. We'll take whatever date the board gives us, we will be ready to proceed whenever that date's set.
Okay. So calendar number 509-24S be continued to February 21, the 2 p.m. call, and no further notice will be given.
Great, and the second group of cases, Chairman, is on the bottom of page 3. It's 597-24S, 598-24Z, and I'm sorry, 497-24S, 498-24Z, and 499-24Z. 4,006 with Sheridan. We are working with the Alderman's office to finalize essentially 2 final community agreements. We were ready to proceed today. However, the Alderman wanted to finalize these. If there's any way that we could have this in January, I do have a representative from the Alderman's office who's, I believe, comfortable with a short, just a 1-month request if it's possible.
This one is gonna have to be continued to February. So this is calendar numbers 497-24S, 498-24Z, 499-24Z. Will be continued to February 21, the 2 p.m. call, and no further notice will be given.
Okay, thank you.
Any other continuances?
I like to, on the world, 61 issue. I mean, there's a business that coming up for you today, I like those tools.
Which number is that?
509. Oh, please. Hold on. There we go. 514 before us.
Page 6.
Do we have the applicant here?
Mr. Chairman, Mark Kupiec, I represent the applicant Lakeisha Barnes.
Okay.
She's actually on her way. She's on the L. She's a stop or 2 away.
Do you have an objection to the continuance?
We are otherwise ready to go. Lakeisha will be here in 5 minutes. We have our expert witness here. She would very much like to, for business reasons, very much like to go forward. It's especially used for personal services, the hair and nails. So it would seem like a straightforward case.
Alderman Hall?
Well, Chairman, the problem is number one, they operate without a license. That should make them unacceptable. Secondly, some of the things that they've been doing while in the building, from clients smoking weed, intimidating seniors that are using the building also for a health clinic. So since their arrival to this property, there's been excessive use of marijuana, illegal operation, and then the owner doing inappropriate things with residents in an opportunity to, I'm assuming, persuade them to vote. She did not, nor did their attorney, reach out for what we've done since day one, which is a community process, allows the community to hear who they are, allows the community to voice their support or opposition, all of which she's bypassed except for the last 2 weeks, randomly approaching neighbors and doing other types of stuff.
And is that what you're requesting the continuance for, to have some community engagement?
Absolutely correct engagement, but then also we're looking into why she's operating without a license.
Okay, so calendar number,
Mr. Chairman, could I just briefly respond, just for the sake of the record? And I respect the alderman sticking up for the community. There's no problem with that. And I apologize if we have been in touch with his office and staff, so we're happy to do a community process. And we would love to talk to him. But for the record,
Randomly popping up to my office is not in touch.
Alderman, I apologize if we didn't go with the procedure, and we're happy to, okay? But just to clear the record, Mr. Chairman, Lakeisha's not here, but she would deny that she's operating without a license. Please note, it's an existing larger commercial building that has existing tenants. A whole variety of tenants, including a couple of not-for-profits that provide social services. So I don't know who's doing what in the building, but it's not her and her clients. And specifically, actually, she would tell you that a city inspector was by there within the past week. They got a complaint about operating without a license. She invited him in, he looked around and admitted that nobody was operating any personal service business on the site.
all right, we'll get into the merits of this.
Right, I just
today.
wanted-
For now, I'm gonna grant the continuance. Calendar number 514-24S will be continued.
Mr. Chairman, if I might, for Lakeisha's sake, she's got some business issues. I would very much like, and I respect the continuance. If you could do 1 month, it would make a big deal to her and her finances and her business interest.
Cannot be done. Calendar number 514-24S will be continued to February 21, the 2 p.m. call, and no further notice will be given.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Any other continuances or withdrawals? All right, seeing none, Victor, call first.
On behalf of one of the applicants on page. Page 7. Case number 520-24S, 521-24S, 522-24S. Those are all going to be withdrawn at the request of the applicant.
Okay. Calendar numbers 520-24S, 521-24S, and 522-24S are hereby withdrawn.
Yeah, all 3 cases on ready.
Got it. All right, Victor, go ahead and call the first case.
First case 44-24S, 4651 North Milwaukee.
Right, Sir, are you the
Yes,
applicant?
yes, sir.
All right, can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Manuel Rivera, my home address or my business?
Business address.
4707 North Milwaukee, but I'm relocating to 4651, which is, the reason why I wasn't approved, during zoning.
Okay, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings?
Yes,
Thank you very much. Right, I do have your hearing packet for this matter. Do you swear or affirm that the hearing materials submitted for this matter are still true, accurate, and correct?
yes, sir.
Okay, the materials will be admitted into the record. Does anybody have any questions for the applicant? Okay, and I do have a recommendation from the Department of Planning and Development that recommends approval. We will take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case, 4524Z, 10318 South Prospect.
Okay, sir, are you the applicant?
Yes.
Okay, could you state your name and address for the record, please?
My name is Adikami Adibaya, address is 18319 Victim Place West Lane, Washington.
Okay, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings?
Yes.
Thank you very much. I do have the materials submitted for this matter. Do you affirm that the materials submitted are still true and correct?
Yes.
Okay, I do have some questions about this one. Were these exterior stairs constructed without permits?
Whichever have permits, after I got the permits was button.
I mean, what is it that brought you here?
So, what brought me here was that I needed to, when the staircase was built, it was not in code, so I needed to rebuild it to be in code because I have tenants there. So, what brought me here was that the way it was built needed to have egress for the tenants, and it also needed to not kind of went encroach a little bit on the backside of the house. So, I'm here for variance.
Okay, when you had those stairs constructed, who did you hire to do that work?
Contract.
What was the name of the contractor?
I have it here. Cat Properties. LLC,
Could you spell that?
KAT Properties, PROPERTIES. NG LLC.
And did you do anything to determine whether or not CAT Properties had obtained permits before they performed the work?
Yes, they did.
And how is it that you knew that you needed to come here? Did you get cited for a building code violation?
No, so what happened was I got cited and I needed to make the corrections, yes.
Okay, all right. Now, because there is a question in the hearing packet that asks if you were cited and you answered no to that question.
Cited. I was cited.
You were cited.
Yeah, that's why I
Okay.
had to do the correction, yes. Okay.
And what was the citation for?
It was for the Porsche, said it wasn't in code, so I needed to review it. Then I had some other citations, like some of the electrical I had to do this.
And this project here, were you did you basically replace stairs that you had a staircase there before, correct?
Yes.
All right. Did that staircase, come into disrepair basically?
No, so it's, if you look at it in Beverly, it's kind of a old house, so they said the staircase wasn't in code, so I needed to get another staircase because I couldn't rebuild it the way it was before. It was built in 19, I think the house was 1980 something. I bought it in 2021.
Okay.
So I needed to kind of rebuild it to be up to code.
Any questions from the board? Okay, we will take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next case, 4624S, 5056 South Archer.
Okay, which one of you is the applicant? Could you state your name and address, please?
My name is Maria Lopez and business address is 5056 South Archer.
Okay, are you planning to testify as well?
I'm her daughter. I'm just here for translation.
Oh, okay,
Better not
If she
understand.
doesn't understand.
okay. All right, well, let me swear you in first, as a translator in case we need you. Is the language Spanish?
Yeah.
Okay, could you state your name and address for the record, please?
Jasmine Lopez. My address is 6324 South Keating Avenue.
Okay, and do you swear or affirm to accurately translate English to Spanish and Spanish to English in this matter?
Yes.
Okay, and then for you, could you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings?
Yes.
Thank you very much. I do have your hearing packet for this matter. Do you swear that the materials submitted are still true and correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. They will be admitted into the record. Does anyone have any questions for the applicant? We'll take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case, 4724Z, 5711 North Spalding.
Right. Would everyone plan to testify? Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Which one of you is the applicant?
I,
Okay, could you state your name and address for the record, please?
Sergio German, home address is 7931 Kenville, Skokie, Illinois.
Okay. And are you the architect? Could you state your name and address for the record, please?
George Shamara, 1430 North Artesian in Chicago.
Okay, I do have the hearing packet for this matter. Do both of you affirm that the materials submitted for this application are still true and correct?
Yes.
Okay. This is the. Okay, yeah, this was the one where you're trying to legalize a rear addition that existed before you bought the property, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Any questions from the board? We'll take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case, 48824S, 1001 South Ashley.
And I do have a recommendation from the Department of Planning and Development to approve this matter. Everyone planning to testify, please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings?
Yes.
Thank you very much. This is for a hair salon? Okay, sir, could you state your name and address for the record, please?
Damien Flores, we live together, 8640 South 82nd Avenue.
Okay, and your name?
Luz Maria Chavez, and the same address, and 84, 8640 South 82nd Avenue, Hickory, sorry.
And you're the applicant?
Yes.
Okay. I do have the hearing packet for this matter. Do both of you affirm that the materials submitted are still true and correct? Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much. They will be admitted into the record. Are there any questions for the applicant? We'll take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next two cases, 4924Z and 49024Z, 3069 South Lyman and 3073 South Lyman. Make that three cases.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. For efficiency purposes.
Yeah, this is 49, 490, 491. Yeah, right, okay. Yeah. Great. Would everyone planning to testify, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings? Thank you very much. Counselor Pleka, if you want to give us a brief overview and introduce your witnesses.
I'll be happy to. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. My name is Agnes Pleka for the record. I'm the attorney for the applicant and the owner of the property. Very simply, we have two trapezoid parcels. They are next to each other. Not only irregular, but substandard. We have varying lot depths, with the smallest one being less than 17 feet. They are also uniquely located at the end of this very peculiar triangular block. Now, in addition to that, you actually, this honorable board, have heard those cases before, about 2 years ago. Exactly the same project, the same variations, and we did submit copies of those prior resolutions to the evidence. And the same hardships govern today: irregular lots, substandard depths. And because the applicant was not able to complete the permitting process within that 1 year prescribed by the ordinance for the variations, now he's ready to proceed with the permit. So Department of Planning advised that we have to reapply for those variations. So these are three cases. They seem like a lot, but it's just a perfect almost book definition for a case where it absolutely cannot be buildable without these variations. So we are here to ask for your support. My witnesses are ready to certify to their statements. I have the architect, I have the applicant, and we're open for any question.
Could you just introduce them?
Yes.
Their names.
Mr. Tong, would you please introduce yourself and who you are?
Yes, my name is William Tong. I have been developing the brick area for some time, since early 90s. This is one of two houses left for me to finish. Before I retired, I bought these lot 3 years ago, and hoping to build on them, and then we got approval from the previous board. I didn't know there was a shelf life on the variance granted, and I'm ready to move on and try to get finished up and live happily after that.
No pressure on you at all.
It was last year was my 70th birthday, and
Congratulations.
they tell me I look good, but my mental acuity is. So I have pressure.
And I'm Helen Liptak, architect.
Okay, great. Do the applicant and the architect affirm that the materials submitted for this matter are still true and correct?
I do, yes.
Thank you very much. They will be admitted into the record. Are there any questions for the applicant? We'll take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next case, 49224S and 251 South Archer.
All right, I do have a recommendation from the Department of Planning and Development to approve this matter. Counselor Pleka, if you want to introduce your witness and give us a brief overview, but actually let me swear your witness in first. Raise your right hand, please. You swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings?
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, again, for the record, my name is Agnes Pleca, and I have Maria Gisela Gonzalez with me. She goes by Gisela, by the way. She's the president of the applicant's entity. And very simply, we have this mixed-use building, two commercial units on the ground floor. One is used by insurance company. The other one has been vacant for some time, although it had a prior personal use. However, since that prior personal use expired more than 18 months ago, Gisela, who's hoping to establish a beauty salon of her own, finally, after 4 years of experience and working for other people, she is hoping to do this in this place. She will have, this is not a big place, it's about 300 square feet of floor area. She's gonna have 3 stations, 2 for the hair services, 1 for makeup. She will be working as one of the stylists. She's hoping to have 2 employees, and the proposed hours of operations are very similar to other service uses in the area. We did submit those details into the evidence, but just in case, Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., and she will be closed on Sunday. So we are hoping for your support and approval.
And for the applicant, do you swear that the materials submitted in this matter are still true and correct?
Yes.
Thank you. They will be admitted into the record. Are there any questions from the board? We'll take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cases. 493, 24Z, 494, 24Z, 1433 West Cortez.
Hey, whatever you're planning to testify, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Councilor Fletcher. Introduce, give a brief overview, introduce your witnesses.
And for the record, my name is Agnes Fleck. I'm the attorney for the applicant and the owner of this property. I have here with me the manager of the applicant's entity, Daniel Michalewski, and I have the project architect, Juana Hergelaju. And this is kind of a peculiar case. The variations stem from the applicant trying to be a good neighbor, so to speak. Not only we have a negative grade of the parcel, which means that the parcel is located below the street level. We have a substandard width. There's only 24 feet of land width. But most importantly, the neighbor to the east is encroaching about 2 feet into the subject property. And the encroachment is with the retaining wall, again, because of the negative grade, and a little bit of sidewalk and stairs that go down and up toward the alley. So even though the applicant actually designed this building in strict compliance, he talked with the ordinance. We actually have 2 feet on one side, 3 feet on the other side. However, and on top of everything else, this property was actually rezoned as a type 1 2 years ago. So it was approved by city council exactly for the same building as you see it today. But before then, we didn't have the option to do comprehensive review with the city council. So even though we actually have those side setbacks, and we are complying in terms of the design, because those encroachments are going 2 feet into the subject property, the Department of Planning determined that the setback for this building should be 2 feet from that encroachment. And that's just not possible. The lot is too narrow. It's just not happening. So the neighbors are in perfect harmony. They actually signed and recorded an easement, cross easement, which allows them for convenient access to both their properties. We reached out to the alderman. Nobody has any objections. So we're hoping for your approval and support as well.
Okay, and do the applicant and the architect affirm that the materials submitted for this matter are still true and correct?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much. They will be admitted into the record. Are there any questions from the board? We'll take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Next case, 495-24C and 496-24C, 6416 to 18 North Francisco.
Everyone planning to testify, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings?
I do.
Thank you very much. Counselor Flecker, you can give us a brief overview and introduce your witnesses.
And for the record, for the last time this morning, but I'll be back in the afternoon. Agnes Blacka, attorney for the applicant and the owner of the property. And I have the manager of the applicant's entity, Volodymyr Diaduk. I may have mispronounced it, even though I am European, forgive me. And I have Johnny Hanna as the project architect. And very simply, this is a case of an old lot division that we're trying to legalize today. For just kind of for the history of the block and this property, we did submit 88 per map, I think it was Exhibit F, which shows that originally this block, both sides of Francisco, were platted with large lots, 65 feet wide lots. And over the years, those lots were split in half, almost all of them, except the subject property. And the subject property was subdivided unequally, probably because that old building, 100-year-old tree flat, had a sidewalk, larger sidewalk, kind of going towards the vacant lot. So with this, let's see, we have 33.05 frontage on the tree flat, and we have 31.95 frontage for the vacant lot, which is obviously good for that tree flat because it allows them access to the building and to the rear of the property. However, it causes problems for the vacant lot because without these variations to legalize that prior subdivision, to legalize the existing tree flat as it is, as it had been for the past 100 years, that vacant lot remains unbuildable, unmarketable, basically not usable. So we have two sets of variations. One set of variation is for the existing building to legalize that subdivision so that the vacant lot can be built, anything at this point. The second variation is for the minimum lot area for that vacant lot, because we are missing that half a foot or 1 foot, which was not equally subdivided. That vacant lot is missing 8 square feet or 0.2% of the MLA required for the 4th unit at the property. Okay. We did have a community meeting. We worked with Alderwoman Silverstein. Nobody had any objections. We did have a support letter from Alderwoman Silverstein. I think we submitted this to the evidence. So we're hoping for your support and approval.
Do the applicant and the applicant's witness affirm that the materials submitted for this matter are still true and correct?
I do.
Thank you. They will be admitted into the record. Are there any questions from the board? We'll take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
Next case, 524 D 2127 North Sedgwick.
Good catch.
Thank you. All right, would everyone planning to testify, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings?
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much. Counselor Moore, if you want to give us a brief overview and introduce your witnesses.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. My name for the record is Tom Moore, and this is a case of a landmarked 19th century building on a short, thin, odd-shaped lot. So it's 112 feet deep. It's only 20 feet wide, and it is Clark Street is behind it with this is at a slant at that point. So it has lots of hardships. It's also on the south side. It has a common wall with the neighbor to the south, and there's a big old tree on the lot line in the yard in the north that the neighbor to the north wanted to protect. So we've had lots of discussions, lots of negotiations. Pam Hunter, to my left here, took it to Landmarks. We have the approval of Landmarks to do the work. The applicants, Bob and Heidi Miller, have teenage daughters. Right now, they're sharing a room. They'd like to do some renovations so that they can actually each have their own room. And the backyard and the garage and everything all needed to be redone. So we went to the community group, the Mid-North Association, and they supported us, as did the alderman. But we still had lengthy negotiation with the neighbor to the south, who we share the wall with. And we actually redid our plans, and we've submitted plans dated by the architect on December 4th, which originally we had, there is on the common wall, there is a window well, and our original plans followed the common wall line. And the neighbor to the south did not like that, and so we've moved it back 2 feet so that it's now an as-of-right wall. The garages, we started out with a carport trying to accommodate both sides. It's now in the December 4th plans, it's now a garage, but it's not a garage with the usual foundation. It has 4 points so that there's not a deep foundation, both to protect the tree on the north and the neighbor on the south garage foundation, which they were afraid if we dug all along there, it might undermine their foundation. Anyway, so and also Andrew Scott, who you know and appears in front of you all the time, helped me negotiate with the people to the south, and he sent me an email saying that I'm authorized to tell you that all issues have been resolved. However, he wants me to tell you on the record that Millers have agreed that construction-wise, they'll follow the not work before 8 a.m., excuse me. They will not put a dumpster in the front of the house. They, as the plans show, the HVAC will be on the north side, and the Millers will have insurance that will protect neighbors. So it's been a process. At this point, everyone's agreed. We have no opposition. We've made many accommodations to arrive at that point, and we're hoping to get your support as well. With us today are Pam Hunter, the architect, and Bob and Heidi Miller. And that's our case.
Okay, thank you. Do the applicant and the applicant's witness affirm that the materials submitted with this matter are still true and correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much. They're admitted into the record. Are there any questions from the board? We'll take this matter under advisement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case, 50124 6060 East Walton.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, and members of the board, esteemed team members. Here is representative.
I just didn't know what was over there. Give me one second.
Can we get you over there?
Yeah, you're on the other side.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. I have 20 of you. All right, Council, thank you.
All right.
Would everyone planning to testify, please raise the right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings?
I do.
Thank you very much. The board recognizes Mr. Kerwin's expertise. I do have a recommendation from the Department of Planning and Development to approve this matter. Counselor, if you want to give us a brief overview and introduce your witnesses.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. My name is Dean T. Marigus of the law firm of Marigus and Marigus, located at 1 North LaSalle Street. And I'm here representing the applicant. Eva Gordon, who is here, is the vice president of retail of the store called Real Inc. It's a national store, which is very upscale. And we need to get a special use in order to sell fine jewelry, which we cannot at this point in time do. This is also a major component of our sales, and obviously we're in the Christmas season, so it is timely. I have with me, as I say, Eva Gordon and also Bud Kerwin, our appraiser. I'm tendering a letter that we sent to Alderman Riley. We met with these people. There was no objections at that time. We have no objections from the community, nor do we have objections from the Alderman's office. If the chair will allow, I would start my questions for Bud Kerwin concerning the nature of compliance.
Not necessary. Let me ask the question to the applicant and the applicant's witness. Do the two of you affirm that the materials submitted with this matter are still true and correct?
Yes, I do.
Yes,
Thank you. They'll be admitted into the record. Are there any questions from the board?
I do. I just, so what is it that makes this necessary to have this specific license, the valuable object fuel license, as opposed to a sales license? So, you know,
We were told specifically by the city that we needed to get this license in order to do the fine jewelry.
and what is specific about the fine jewelry that kicks it into this category?
Precious metals.
Okay. Really? So any jewelry or any product that uses precious metals in it, would we be required to do this? I just.
She doesn't know. She's
You
not
don't
an
know, they
attorney,
just
but-
told you?
I just know what he tells me.
Oh. Okay. They just know what the CEO
Thank
is. Do you know?
I've been talking with DPD
Yeah.
throughout many months on this. and
Yeah.
They've kept us informed already.
I did read the statute or law or
Yeah.
whatever it is, and it specifically states precious metals, so 18 karat gold, 14 karat gold, et cetera, and that is what we sell.
All right. Heard in that license before.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? We'll take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
very much.
Next two cases, 502, 2042, 503, 24Z, 1542 West Shore.
All right, would everyone planning to testify, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings?
Yes.
I do. Thank you very much. Counselor Moore, if you could give us a brief overview, introduce your witnesses. And on this one, I actually really kind of explain exactly what's being done here, because I was having a hard
Yeah,
time
me too.
looking at the plans to figuring out exactly what was going on.
Right, and I did send some pictures that maybe are helpful that way.
I do have those pictures now, so thank you for that.
And so maybe I could use them to help illustrate. So one second. So my name for the record is Tom Moore, and with me today are Jacqueline Poe and her husband Nolan Sleesnick, and their architect Peter Bertoli. Jacqueline and Nolan are going to have their first baby in May, and they live in a 3-story condo. They have the first floor and the basement. And the basement, they're rearranging their lives. The bedrooms are in the basement, and they're arranging their lives there to have a baby's room and to
Was this
accommodate.
work already performed?
No, no, not at all.
Okay.
No, so the current, out of the basement door is this dank, unusable, under the deck space, okay?
So that exists on the right.
That's correct. Both of them are.
It's the same
Oh, it's
picture,
the
right?
same
It's
Yeah,
same-
yes,
same-
right, yes.
Yeah.
It's just a, one shows into it and one just shows where it is. And this picture kind of shows you, this is from up on the garage roof deck. And there's that, this is that space down below the decks. And so what they'd like to do is enclose it so that they can have more bedroom room. They're not gonna put the baby out there, but they're gonna put other stuff so there's room for the baby. And the problem is this has all been existing for some time, and the distance between the existing decks and the existing garage, there's not enough room to put the open space. And so we need, also, this existing dark dank space, this wall here is 10 inches or about a foot into the rear yard. That's where it is, that's where it's been. So if they use the existing wall to enclose the space, they're encroaching on the rear yard.
And that is what you're proposing to do, is to use the existing wall?
Exactly, yes. So it's a rear yard variance to allow 10 feet into the rear yard and to have the rear yard open space up on the existing deck.
So there's no existing really your rear yard, it sounds like.
No, this has all been there for I don't know how long, but they bought it. They're
That's
not
the way it was.
they're not the original owners.
Yes.
They're just,
So you're really looking at doing something on something that was already existing that would be illegal if you did it now, but you want to just fit it in the space that's already there.
The foundation is already there.
My only question about that is, how's the drainage done? Since there's no, since it's all hard surface currently, I was gonna ask you.
so I'd ask the architect, how are we handling drainage?
Well, the how do you say, landscaped area that already has natural drainage. And the submerged deck has a floor drain there. You know, when we enclose this, there will be a gutter that brings water into that planting area.
Okay.
I mean, because right now there is a deck that's covering part of that area.
I don't know, did you swear them?
I think I swore everybody.
we swear you did. Okay, I'm sorry.
But you haven't introduced them, so.
Oh, I'm very,
Or did he?
Yeah.
Okay, he did. All right, he did.
That's okay.
It's Friday.
Yeah.
It's the last zoning board hearing of the year. I promise I haven't dipped into the eggnog yet.
Just thinking about it.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Do the applicant and the applicant's architect affirm that the materials submitted for this matter are still true and correct?
Yes, they are.
Excellent. They will be admitted into the record. Are there any other questions from the board? We'll take this matter under advisement.
thank you, everyone. Please have a wonderful holiday.
Happy holidays.
Next case, 504-24Z, 5846 West Monterey.
What's their plan? The actual. Yeah. Oh, well, that's cool. 5 months early.
Would everyone planning to testify, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings?
Yes.
Thank you. Which one of you is the applicant?
He's the applicant, but he only speaks Spanish, so I don't know if he can speak in Spanish, if.
Yeah, what we'll do is I'm gonna swear you in as a translator and then we'll
Okay.
have you translate everything, okay?
Okay.
Could you state your name and address for the record, please?
Robert Herrera, 226 Asbury, Evanston, Illinois, 60618.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to accurately translate English to Spanish and Spanish to English?
I'll try my best, yes.
Thank you. All right, and sir, could you state your name and address, please?
Mi nombre es Giancarlo Romero George, mi dirección es 5846 West Montrose.
So his name is Giancarlo Romero George, and his address is 5846 West Montrose, Chicago, Illinois, 60634.
Okay, when you speak, just slow it down just a little bit. for our
Okay,
court
sorry.
reporter here, please. Sorry, taking everything. All right, raise your right hand, sir. You swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings?
Yes.
Thank you. You're trying to get a PPA license, because you use a DJ at your restaurant, is that?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
So we're applying for this license because we wanna, expand the restaurant, have more opportunities for his employees. So he wants to have like live music, DJ, maybe rent out for private events. Basically, like, as you can see, it's a really, really big space. It's like a 2,700 square foot. Next to the left side of the restaurant, there's a dance studio. If you can see, Latin Techniques Dance Studio. They're open from 4 to 10. On the right side is like here, they reconstruct, like, people that, lose their hair and they reconstruct it, but they close really early. I think they close like around 7 or 8. In front, there's pizza. So everything right there is pretty like commercial, as you can see. Further down, there is like some residential, but I don't think it's gonna really like disturb like the neighbors. We will have security if it does get like, we're planning to have security if it gets really full in there. So that's what we're planning to do as well. So basically, we're asking for you guys' help to, so we can have this license and expand and have more opportunities for employees.
How is it that you knew that you needed to come here? Did you get a visit from an inspector?
Correct, and they told us that we needed a PPA license so we
Okay.
can continue to have these events.
Okay.
Yeah.
Had you had a DJ at events for obviously before you got the license or the?
Yeah, we did have it, yeah.
Okay, and did you have any complaints with regard to noise?
No one ever told us anything, but I'm assuming someone called. I'm not sure. But yeah, they came back in April, so then they told us that we had to apply for the PPA license. As you can see, there's all commercial, there's no residential. It's at the very far, I would say east of the restaurant, and then also on the east side of it.
So on either sides of your space, you've got commercial.
They're all
space.
commercial spaces, yeah.
And are they, what time do those spaces close,
So the Latin Techniques, they close at 10. And then that's actually my business. And then on the right side, I think. Like, I think they close around 8 p.m.
Have you had any discussions with that, the owner of that business with regard to your PPA?
We haven't talked to them, but we can certainly talk to them if it's needed.
Have they voiced,
They haven't told us anything,
okay.
so we don't have any complaints from them. So as far as that, no.
And translate this, for the applicant, do you affirm that the materials submitted with this matter are still true and correct?
So, todos los materiales que se le enviaron a ellos, que todo el material todavía está, está como intacto como lo que mandamos a ellos, todo todavía lo mismo.
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, they will be admitted into the record. Are there any other questions from the board?
Yes, what time will we close?
So if you guys allow us and approve the license, we are planning to close like Friday and Saturdays at 2 a.m, if possible.
You have a liquor license?
We don't yet. Yeah, so it will be just like a BYOB kind of thing.
I'm sorry, how long have you been open?
So with the restaurant, he's been having it for almost 2 years in March, and we just moved to this location back in February.
For the times that you were operating it beforehand, with DJs and whatnot, did you stay open until 2 a.m.?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's why we they told us to get the PPA license.
okay.
Yeah.
And have you been in touch with the alderman?
Yes, we did. We talked to Nicholas Esposado, yes. So he's aware of it, yeah.
And did he, so when you,
Yeah, I did spoke to him and then he told me just to go ahead and apply for the PPA license. He said it wasn't gonna be easy, but we're here to, and we're asking for your guys' support as well.
I have one more question. So
Yeah.
when you charge a cover fee effectively to get in, do people queue up inside or is there ever a line that forms?
So
outside
it's
of
gonna be at the very entrance. So I don't, if you can see in the pictures, there's 2 entrances, the main door, and then there's a second door. So it's gonna be at the very second door.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's never a time where there's a line that forms
No,
outside?
there hasn't been a line on. No.
all right, any other questions from the board? We'll take this matter under advisement.
All right, thank you so much.
Next 4 cases, 505-24Z, 506-24Z, 507-24Z, 508-24Z, 5600 through 02 North Winthrop, and 1102 through 12 West Bryn Mawr Avenue.
Okay, would everyone planning to testify, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings? I do. Thank you very much. Counselor Fatikas, provide a brief overview and introduce your witnesses.
Absolutely. Again, thank you, Chairman, for the record. Nick Fitton from the Law Offices of Sam Banks. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, Bryn Mawr 11100 LLC. The applicant owns the subject property at 5600 through 02 North Winthrop with a corresponding address at 1102 through 1112 West Bryn Mawr. The subject site is a square-shaped lot with 150 feet of frontage along Bryn Mawr and 150 feet of frontage along Winthrop. The subject property is also a transit served location that's immediately adjacent to the CTA line and the Bryn Mawr CTA station. The property is currently improved with a 1- and 2-story mixed-use building and surface parking lot. The applicant is proposing to take down the existing building and develop the property with a new 6-story mixed-use building. The proposed building will have 6,235 square feet of retail space at grade, 94 residential units above, and off-street parking for 29 vehicles. In order to permit the project, the applicant seeking variations to reduce the front and rear setbacks. Excuse me. Increase the TSL imposed setback along the lot's Winthrop frontage, reduce the window transparency area on the Winthrop side of the building, and reduce the off-street parking pursuant to TSL. While the subject property is larger than a standard size zoning lot, the square lot shape, the 2 primary street frontages, and the application and frankly competing requirements regarding the setback along Winthrop serve as the hardships necessitating the variations. I do have 2 witnesses on behalf of the applicant, Mr. Rick Filler, and our project architect, Ms. Katie Lambert. And with that, we can answer questions if the board has any.
All right, first question, do the applicant and the applicant's witness affirm that the materials submitted with this matter are still true and correct?
Yes.
Thank you. They will be admitted into the record. Are there any questions from the board?
Yeah, I have looked here. So I know that this is where the old Nookies used to be, right? Yeah. So is the footprint of the building, you're talking about building the same as the existing footprint of the building?
It
Or
actually-
You're not moving over into, you're not changing the setback on Winthrop
So
from what exists?
we're actually trying to push the building back a little bit further on Winthrop. And the reason is, in discussing this with the architect, the transit served location ordinance applies to all street frontages. Bryn Mawr, as you know, is a little bit more retail oriented. It's predominantly mixed use, retail and residential above. Winthrop is predominantly retail, residential. It's almost entirely multi-unit residential buildings, north and south. So what we're trying to do, and that's a great perspective, we're holding the corner of Winthrop and Bryn Mawr. But then what we're doing is on the right side, if you see, we set that back 7.5 feet. And that's part of the relief. We're actually asking to go beyond what the code requires. And I mentioned in the introduction, conflicting codes. Our property is a B1-5. It abuts residential to the north. And that abutting residential district imposes a setback requirement of approximately 11 feet on our lot. However, because we're a transit served location, we're supposed to be either at the front property line, so 0 front setback, or no greater than 5 without a variation. So we try to meet it in the middle about at 7.5 feet to show and kind of carry the corner, but then set back to be a little bit more in line with the residential buildings to the north.
So just to be clear, you're following that rule on Bryn Mawr, but you're setting back
Yes,
on Winthrop and it's a little more than it currently is.
correct. And you,
Okay, that's what I wanted.
and to that point, the site plan, we actually talked about this as well. The site plan and the survey show a shape very similar. While our building's admittedly larger, the setbacks and the existing footprint mirror one another.
Okay, if you have more questions.
Yep.
So this is rental building
Yes,
and I'm sorry, back to the retail for a second. Is this consistent with the same, the retail that's currently there? Are you reconfiguring it? I know they had trouble
reconfigured.
renting the restaurant.
it's been reconfigured, and again, it's 6,200 plus square feet, and it can't be divisible. If the restaurant wants to take down 3,000 square feet, we have a little bit of flexibility to break that
Is
up.
there still a restaurant there? I thought the second one didn't succeed. It is.
There's a third one in there now.
Yeah. Okay, so the other question is there any affordability here?
So there's no legal requirement for affordability, but what we did work with the Alderman's office was varying the sizes of the units to hit certain price points. Or again, this is all projected in our economic analysis. We're assuming about a $3 per square foot, and we have units that range between 525 square feet upwards to over 1,000. So what we're trying to do is capture a little bit more of a wider breadth. So anywhere between 1,550 and 1,600 on the low end, upwards of 26, 27, maybe even 2,800 for the larger units. I don't want to speak for the Alderman's office. My understanding is right now the building has 3 unoccupiable residential units. And this is an opportunity to provide 94 units on a transit served site already zoned -5. We're actually proposing our unit total is less than what the -5 would allow just based on the lot size. We were at 114 total units is what's allowed, and we're only proposing 94. Say only, we're less than what's actually allowed per code. But to answer your direct question,
Yeah.
there's no legal affordability, but we did try and vary the size of the units to be able to capture different price
So
points.
I would like to suggest a take on this, just from my perspective. This is, I clearly wasn't on the city council's when they did the transit oriented discussion and when they did that, but my understanding was one of the arguments for it was that it created opportunities for more affordability. And the reason it comes in front of the ZBA is because while it allows for certain percentages for different amounts of parking under certain conditions, the assumption is it will really truly in the context of that area, which is why they wanted to come to the ZBA, not negatively impact the reason for parking. I think that in this area, that's a real question mark as to whether, I mean, it's because it's not any public, I think the closest public parking lot is the one on Argyle.
Yeah.
And that's pretty far.
And one of the things too on the application specific to the parking reduction, Again, no zoning changes required. It's a -5 already. If we had a code compliant building footprint and didn't ask for any zoning relief, our technical parking requirement will only be 50%. And I think I want to give you the exact correct number. I think what we're asking for is a reduction of an additional 18 spaces. So we're trying, so the legal requirement, the code requirement at 50% would be 47. We're providing 29. So it's really differentiating 50% down to the proposed 29 total, which is about 0.3. But that was kind of our target, both from a economic standpoint, but also from a demand standpoint from the alderman input.
So I guess since I'm really concerned about both of those
Mhm.
aspects, and since you said that those are part of your discussions with the alderman. Is there what exists that can affirm that in the future that commitment will be affirmed and realized? And I'm specifically asking it here because on that very block, actually, when I was alderman,
Yeah.
I wasn't the alderman of that ward, but a developer who also worked in my ward was doing work on that block, developed 2 different locations on the block and had committed to the community at the time that that the rents would be whatever, a certain, pegged at a certain amount. And some of the housing activists in the area came to me about that later on because they weren't being met and they knew I knew the developer. So I contacted him and asked him and he said, oh, I'll fix it. And in that case, he didn't remember that commitment, but he acknowledged that he'd had that conversation. So I always want to know what is the follow-up, because it's not always someone you can call and check.
So 100%, but I also would point out that even with the economic analysis that we provided, those are just our projections based on current market conditions. And you're right, it is speculative. The building likely won't be delivered for 24 months.
Mhm.
Just this last year, we've seen interest rates and changes in the housing market where it shifts from a little bit more friendly for purchasers to now kind of clamoring for rentals. It's hard for anybody to predict what the market will be in 2 years. At the same time, we're comfortable that based on our projections at about $3 a square foot for the residential, we believe the building and the project are viable. I don't know how else to come up with the commitment because if the market conditions increase and there's an ability for us to garner more income from those units, it's part of the market conditions. At the same time, if interest rates come down and people don't want,
Right, but there's been
then we don't meet our mark. And, you know, again, we're speculating on real estate conditions in a multi-unit building 2 years from now.
Okay, but I'm assuming that the reason that the alderman, maybe this is a false assumption, but isn't here is because she had some conversations and she was satisfied by them. And all I'm asking for is, with those, so I guess I want to know, with those just conversations with you, because you're not going to be part of you probably won't be
Development team.
there when it's a
So
reality, or has it been actually with the parties who are doing the owners of the property and the developers of the property now?
I know, Rick also spoke directly with the alderman's office, but Jorge, one of the, I think the chief of staff, I spoke to Jorge, the same individual, and it was more conversation like we're having now. These are our projected price points. This is what our projected costs are. And I'm not gonna shift gears. One of the other focus points was the architecture. And you're familiar with that area. It is a more traditional area.
Yeah.
Directly east is a really pretty green and yellow
The two
terracotta
historic
building.
buildings.
And then there's another one, kitty corner. It's a 14-story stone
Yeah, there was
building.
building size.
So I think one of the initial concerns that I don't want to put against words in anybody's mouth. One of the initial concerns is they didn't really want to see an ultra contemporary design. And I know that that's not necessarily a zoning issue, but it was a community concern. And really our starting point was, and I want to disclaimer everything. I can't speak for the alderman. But there seemed to be some appreciation in the architecture and the design. So that it really does have more of a traditional, we can call it a transitional style, so that it fit. And then from there, we talked about, do we have anticipated retail tenants? We don't know yet, because again, we have 2 years. There's going to be business relocation. It's hard to commit to it, but the intent is to allow flexibility for the retail space And then with respect to the units, we did talk about just the general, the price points, the range of what we think it's gonna yield and what frankly, we need to be able to make it viable. So we did have those conversations. It is not memorialized and I don't know if there is if there's a way or a mechanism to lock in rents 2 years from now.
Well, I'm not suggesting that so much as to what is is there a process? Or was there something agreed on with the alderman to follow up as things
There-
develop?
This was all information
So there's
gathering.
no
there were no hard-
affordability
no
and just
affordability.
open everything.
But a commitment to work with their architectural community group on a go-forward basis to make any adjustments to the plans and work with them to make sure that they're happy architecturally.
Yeah, but that doesn't address my concern.
Right,
I understand.
Any other questions from the board? All right, we will take this matter. Oh, actually, did I
No,
have
I don't think you
everybody?
did. I think you swore me, but I don't
We
know.
don't
Okay,
remember
ask
this
them.
ever.
All right, let me, if I didn't do it, if I did do it, I'll do it again just to make sure. Will the applicant and the applicant's witness affirm that the materials submitted with this matter are still true and correct? Yes. Thank you very much. You did do that. I did. Admitting and stay right here. We'll take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Sure, board members, Merry Christmas, Happy
New Year, Christmas.
See you guys in 2025.
All right.
Next case, 510-24Z, 2159 North Lawn.
Could you state your name and address for the record?
Candy Vanegas, 2159 North Long Avenue, Chicago, 60639.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Do you affirm that the materials submitted with this matter are still true and correct?
Yes.
Thank you. They will be admitted into the record. If I understood this one correctly, you are building a third floor addition with an attached garage, and your home is very far set back from the front. Is that right?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. That was I think I had it as a 61-foot front setback. Does that sound right?
I'm not sure.
Not sure, but it's far back from the
It's far back,
street, right?
yes.
Okay. Are there any questions from the board?
Is this where you live?
I live next to that house in a building.
Any questions from the board? All right, we will take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Next two cases, 511-24S and 512-24Z, 3531 South Indiana Avenue.
You doing?
This is the barber shop. Oh, no, the barber shop.
All right, would everyone planning to testify, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings? Thank you very much. I do have in my hand a recommendation from the Department of Planning and Development. I'll read this one into the record. The Department of Planning and Development recommends approval to establish residential use below the second floor of an existing 3-story residential building, increasing from 3 to 4 dwelling units, provided the development is consistent with the design and layout of the site plan dated April 8, 2024, prepared by Ridgeland Associates, Inc. and architectural sheets A2, existing plans, and A3 basement plan, dated May 21, 2024, prepared by Robert N. Friedman, architect. Counselor, if you want to give us a brief overview and then introduce your witnesses.
Sure. Yeah, Chairman Freddie Guston, Law of St. Banks. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, Black Rock Management LLC. Applicant owns the property at 3531 South Indiana. As you stated, it's approved, currently approved with a 3.5 story residential building. We are seeking to establish a fourth unit, which will be below the second floor. Property is located in the C13 district. In the C13 district, residential use below the second floor requires a special use. In addition, we are proposing a rooftop deck over the garage at the rear. The access stairway to the rooftop deck will be essentially connected to the existing rear porch. As a result, we're seeking variations to reduce the rear setback from 30 feet to 4 feet in order to have that rooftop deck. So with me this morning is on behalf of the applicant, Andy Skolnick, our project architect, Dominic, how do you pronounce your name? Polak, and then our appraiser, Joe Ryan. And just real briefly, Chairman, for the variation, our hardship is it's a short lot, it's only 124 feet deep. We're also dealing with an existing building that's around 50 years of age, so we're working around those. So with that, that's all I have. We're here to answer any questions.
Right, do the applicant and the applicant's witnesses affirm that the materials submitted for this matter are still true and correct?
Yes.
Okay, the board recognizes Mr. Ryan's expertise as well. The applicant's materials will be admitted into the record. Are there any questions from the board? We'll take this matter under advisement.
And if I could add to the record too, we're not proposing any exterior work to the building, so I just at least want that.
Okay.
So we're keeping the existing.
Understood.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, we'll take it under advisement.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great holiday.
513-24S, 6046 North Broadway.
Right, sir, would you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell, and Mr. Ryan, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much. I do have a recommendation from the Department of Planning and Development recommending approval of the barber shop. Counselor Guston, if you want to give us a brief overview and then introduce your witness.
Sure. Again, Freddie Guston. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, Lake Shortcuts LLC. The applicant will be leasing a ground floor retail unit at 6046 North Broadway. Plan is to establish a barber shop at that location. Property zone B12. A special use is required for the barber shop. There are two witnesses with me this morning on behalf of the applicant, Gabriel Cavallero, and our appraiser, Mr. Joel Ryan. And just briefly, both barbershop hours of operation. Plan is to be open 7 days a week, Monday through 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. With that, we're here to answer any questions.
Okay. The applicant and the applicant's witness affirm that the materials submitted for this matter are still true and correct?
Yes.
Thank you. They'll be admitted into the record. Are there any questions from the board? We'll take this matter under advisement.
Thank you. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Case 515-24S, 2219 North Pine.
All right, would everyone planning to testify, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings?
I do.
Thank you very much. I do have a recommendation from the Department of Planning and Development recommending approval for the proposed hair salon. Counselor, if you want to just give us a brief overview and introduce your witnesses.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Mark Kubiak. I represent the applicant. Have two witnesses, Carla Kopecki on behalf of the applicant, and Joe Ryan is our expert witness. And the overview is talking about the space is 2219 North Clybourne. And the application is to establish a hair salon in the first floor commercial space. First witness, Carla, would you state your name and your business address?
Carla Teresa Kopecki, and then 2219 North Clybourne Avenue.
Carla, are you the manager member of the applicant LLC?
Yes, I am.
Your LLC have an agreement to lease space in the first floor of the existing building?
Yes.
Counsel, all you gotta do is introduce her, just introduce Mr. Ryan as well.
Good. Joe Ryan, your name and your business address?
Joseph M. Ryan, MAI, President, LaSalle Appraisal Group, with offices at 9455 South Horn Avenue in Chicago.
Okay, do the witnesses affirm that the materials submitted with this matter are still true and correct?
Yes.
I do.
Thank you. They'll be admitted into the record. Are there any questions from the board? We'll take this matter under advisement.
Thank you.
Next case, 516-24S, 3604 West Lawrence Avenue.
All right, so this one, I know, I've been advised that we don't have the applicant here. Is that correct?
Well, Mr. Chairman, technically the applicant is an LLC. So we had planned to bring in Francisco's wife, Saturnina, because she's the member manager, but she actually has a serious medical treatment today that could not be rescheduled. And in addition, she's Spanish speaking, and Francisco had been helping her with the paperwork all the way through, so he got personal knowledge of everything.
Does he have any position with the LLC?
Not an official position, but he is the project manager of the LLC. So because of his English speaking ability, he in fact negotiated the lease with the landlord. He actually translated all the documents that are before you in connection with this case, including the affidavit. He went with the Saturnina to the alderman to explain the project. And the space itself is a small space. This is only a 3-chair shop. It's been vacant for a long time, it's in bad shape, and he's in charge of the rehab of the shop. So he's got personal knowledge of everything. So similar to a McDonald's case, they don't bring the president in for a special use, they bring the project manager.
Right,
In the public policy, the shop looks bad from the outside. They just want to begin those repairs as soon as possible.
we're not getting to public policy, as to whether or not, I'm just trying to figure out, so. He doesn't have, he's not a member or a manager of the LLC, correct?
He's not,
Okay.
no. But he
Is
is
he an
the
employee?
project manager employed by the LLC to put this project together.
Okay.
As such, and actually translated every document for his wife, so has personal knowledge of everything.
Is he, I'm satisfied on the sufficient knowledge aspect of
Sure.
this. I'm just concerned about the standing.
Understood?
Um,
And again, McDonald's, they don't send the president.
no,
send
but
the
they
project
send
manager.
in, they send someone and he's employed by the LLC? All right. Insert, well, here, would everyone planning to testify, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings?
I do.
Sir, could you state your name and address for the record?
Francisco Guzman, 3238 North Keating, Chicago, Illinois, 60341.
And are you employed by MG Hair and Beauty Salon LLC?
Yes,
Okay. And you have personal knowledge regarding the application in this matter?
all of it.
Okay, I'm gonna allow this to proceed. for Mr. Guzman and Mr. Ryan. Do the two of you affirm that the materials submitted with this matter are still true and correct?
Yes.
And for the applicant specifically, you've reviewed all of the materials before today, correct? Okay. Are there any, and I do have a recommendation from the Department of Planning and Development recommending approval of the proposed hair and nail salon. Are there any questions from the board? We'll take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Next case, 517-24S, 30-50 West Chicago Avenue.
Yeah, but.
Yeah.
Oh, there are members.
All right, well, let's do
And
it.
that's here, I'm fine. There, yeah, right. Depends on how long it's been there. Yeah, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
For 517, 24S, are there any objectors here in the room? Yes, you're an objection, all right, you
Oh,
can
I
be
think.
over here, but before we hear this case, we're gonna take just a short recess. I move that we recess until 10:35. Commissioners Schiller seconds, Commissioner Soto,
Yes.
Commissioner Daly,
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, we're in recess until 10:35.
Right, he's our expert. How are you? Your pleasure. So our objectives have to shop.
Sure.
Let's.
Let's do it.
I've been doing.
Right. I move that we reconvene this meeting of the zoning board of appeals. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley, Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, we're back. And we are on calendar number 5/17/24S. Before we get into this matter too deeply, I do have in my hand a report from Mr. Ryan received yesterday, December 19, 2024, which is in violation of the rules, was required to be submitted 2 weeks prior. So the question I have for you, Counselor, because we're not going to consider this report today. Do you want a continuance so that this report can be considered? Or are you okay with proceeding anyway?
Well, Mr. Chairman, I understand the report, but we have Mr. Ryan here in person, and he's prepared to testify with respect to the criteria.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. All right, so with that,
Nope, fair statement. Yep.
with that, so just for the record, the written report is not going to be considered, but Mr. Ryan is here to testify, and he can do so. I do have in my hand a recommendation from the Department of Planning and Development recommending approval of the proposed hair salon. Would everyone that's planning to testify in this manner, both the applicant's witnesses and the objectors, please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings? Thank you. Counselor, we'll have you do a brief overview, and I'm sure you're gonna wanna question Mr. Ryan. But let me just explain to the objectors how this is going to proceed. So the applicant is going to put on their case, and then we will turn to you to state why you're here in objection, and you'll also have the opportunity to ask questions of the applicant's witnesses if you desire. And then once that's complete, we'll go back to the applicant for a brief closing, and then the board can ask questions at any time of any of the witnesses. So with that, Counselor, let me state that aside from Mr. Ryan's report, well, actually, could you introduce your applicant?
Sure. For the record, Mark Kubiak, I represent the applicant, and she's seated here beside me, Fatou Niang.
Okay, and Ms. Young, do you affirm that the materials submitted with this matter are still true and correct? Okay, thank you. Those materials will be admitted into the record with the exception of Mr. Ryan's report. Why don't you go directly to Mr. Ryan?
Sure.
For the questioning.
And Mr. Chairman, one procedural item. When she submitted her business license application, she listed all her activities, hair salon, but also including hair braiding.
Okay.
When they turned her down, they used the zoning category of hair salon, a larger category, but a real specialty that it's hair braiding. African hair braiding, how she learned it.
Understood.
For the record. So with that, Mr. Ryan, would you state your name and your address?
Joseph M. Ryan, MAI, President, LaSalle Appraisal Group with offices at 9455 South Horn Avenue in Chicago.
Good. Mr. Ryan, do you have an opportunity to go out and view the property at 3450 West Chicago Avenue?
Yes.
You're aware of this case, we're asking for a special use for a hair salon, hair braiding?
Yes.
And in your opinion, based on what you saw, is it true that this proposed special use complies with all applicable standards of this zoning ordinance?
It does, yes.
You believe also that the proposed special use is in the interest of public convenience and will not have a significant adverse impact on the general welfare of the neighborhood or the community?
Yes.
And Joe, just for the record, we're talking about the space, which is the first floor commercial space in an existing building. Is that correct?
That's correct.
In your opinion, this particular commercial building is compatible with other commercial buildings on Chicago Avenue?
Yes, it is.
Also, as I said, the proposed special use is compatible with the character of the surrounding area in terms of site planning, building scale, and project design,
Yes.
and compatible in character of the neighborhood in terms of operating characteristics such as hours of operation, outdoor lighting, noise, and traffic generation.
Yes.
Also, that this proposed special use design to promote pedestrian safety and comfort.
It will, yes,
And this is the ground floor of an existing building that fronts on Chicago Avenue.
yes,
And people get in and out by the front door at the front of the building.
correct.
Okay.
As on every other use on Chicago Avenue.
Right, so it's certainly convenient for pedestrians.
Yes.
So, Mr. Chairman, that's what I have from Mr. Ryan. And I think you've got your planning letter. I think perhaps her team might have actually explained the project to local alderman too. Okay, I thought he might have weighed in on this.
No, there was a letter of no objection from Alderman Burnett.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to the objectors. Sir, could you state your name and address for the record?
3515 West Chicago Avenue.
Okay, and could you state your name and address for the record?
I apologize here.
Oh.
I can't hear, and if you could spell their name, that would be great.
Sure.
Malay Fofana, MOULAYE, last name FOFANA.
Kajatu Haidara.
Do you know how to spell it?
3515 West Chicago Avenue. Okay.
It looks like the name was written down on the paper is KAD.
KAD,
Not to do.
yeah, KADIETOU. Yeah, H I E, no, HEID, ERA. Yeah.
And do the two of you, do you own the property at 3515 West Chicago?
My mother does.
Okay, and tell us why you're here in objection.
Yes, so she's at the country at the moment, and she wanted me to come support because her shop is literally less than 250 feet away.
Okay.
And the shop that Fatu wants to open, but she doesn't have a problem for her to be a block away or so, but because of the close proximity, that's the only reason that we're here for.
Oh, okay. All right, well,
What's your business?
pursuant to, what is her business?
Braiding shop as well.
Okay, so pursuant to rule 6.7.3.1, the zoning board cannot consider competition as a reason to deny a special use. So just because your mom has a competing business next door, that isn't something that the zoning board can consider. That's not for us. We don't make rulings based on competition. If you want to.
Okay, just for your information, when this ordinance was passed, making this a special use for salons within 1,000 feet of each other in certain zoning districts, it wasn't to avoid competition. It was because there were some parts of the city where there were issues, other issues that related to public safety and noise in the community. So it was a completely different reason for it. And the aldermen who were concerned wanted to make sure that community had input if there had been other issues there or if the hours made for problems or what have you. So it didn't have to do with competition, but it may think it did, which is why I wanted to say this because of the way the ordinance is written, because it says within 1,000 feet, but that's not the reason for it.
All right, are there any questions from the board?
I have one question. Is the shop already in operation? Just looking at the picture, it looks to be an African hair braiding salon. In the photo, is it already open?
The shop?
Yes.
Yeah.
So are the services already being provided?
Oh, not yet.
Right, okay.
Just for publication.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Counselor, I think we have what we need on this. I want to thank you for coming in. I'm sorry that you didn't realize competition wasn't a basis, but I appreciate you coming in and we will take this matter under advisement.
Good, thank you.
Next two cases, 518-24S, 519-24Z, 3007 through 17 Armitage.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, so like always. Yeah, we have an overflow room in 1006.
She's there and then she was like, you let in. I was like,
Yeah, we're calling cases as we're in. Okay,
should I bring her in?
yeah, you can do that.
Would everyone planning to testify, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings? I do.
Yes.
Thank you very much. The board recognizes Mr. Ryan's expertise. Counselor, I do have a recommendation from the Department of Planning and Development. I'll just read it quickly here. The Department of Planning and Development recommends approval to establish a tavern use with an outdoor patio, provided this special use is issued solely to the applicant, Babe Sports Bar, and the development is consistent with the design and layout of the plans and drawings, all dated December 2nd, 2024, prepared by Siren Betty Design with exterior elevation photos dated December 2nd, 2024, and prepared by Shane Banks, Kenny and Schwartz LTD. Counselor, go ahead and give us a brief overview and then introduce your witnesses.
Absolutely, thank you. Good morning. My name is Emmanuel Byron with the law firm Shane Banks and for the attorney for the applicant Babe Sports Bar. The applicant is seeking a special use for a tavern use and a variation to obtain a PPA license. Just briefly about the site was previously operated as a bar, so it's just an interior rebuild. It also did have a PPA license as well, but it went out of business in about 2017. It is a mixed-use development, but the applicant has worked very well with the landlord. They're going to do some soundproofing, have some sound curtains, and then the existing canopy will protect any unwanted light. So it will protect the residential use there. The Armitage is littered with other bars and mixed-use developments. So, and then the last thing I want to highlight is the applicant works very well with Alderperson Fuentes, and she actually recommended the site to the applicant.
We do have that in the file. Right, I was not sure if.
Oh, yeah, I was
Sorry. Okay, all right, go ahead and introduce your witnesses.
Absolutely. So to my left is Nora Johnson, the applicant owner. If you have any questions, she can briefly explain why she wants to use. And then we have Joe Ryan, the project appraiser.
For the applicant and the applicant's witness, do you affirm that the materials submitted with this matter are still true and correct?
I do.
I do. Thank you very much. Are there any questions from the board? We'll take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Four cases, 523-24S, 524-24S, 525-24S, 526-24Z. 1830 North Lamont.
Yeah, right.
It's out.
No. Definitely. No, I wish you could miss it. Earlier, but you can't.
All right, would everyone planning to testify, please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth in these proceedings?
I do.
Thank you very much. The board recognizes Mr. Poulos' expertise. Counselor, could you just, all right, I swear everybody in. Could you introduce the applicant?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The applicant is Chicago Greens. They are a social equity licensee. The operations team has been located they have projects down in Denver. And this, so really what they're before you today is just the change of ownership. This was previously approved due to some financial constraints. This is a new ownership group, but there are 1 or 2 members from the previous ownership group.
And who's gonna testify on behalf of the applicant itself?
So we have, to my left is one of the managers of the LLC, Oriel James. To my left is Josh Rutherford, Director of Operations. Then we have Peter and Matthew.
Okay, for the 2 applicant witnesses, I do have 3 recommendations of approval from the Department of Planning and Development that does have conditions. Have the applicant's witnesses reviewed the conditions in the letters, and are you willing to comply with those conditions?
Yes.
Okay. And for all of the witnesses, do you affirm that the materials submitted for this matter are still true and correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, are there any, those materials will be admitted into the record. Are there any questions from the board? We'll take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Have a good holidays.
You too.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave you guys.
It's more smart.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Flabbergasted. So we're done.
Right next to you and
I did.
Okay. I move that we convene into closed session pursuant to section 2C4 of the Open Meetings Act for the purpose of considering the evidence and testimony presented in open session. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley.
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, we're in closed session.
That's great.
everybody ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, I move that we return to open session. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley,
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, and we're back. We will now vote. Note that any motion to approve a special use will be tied to the recommendations of the department and any additional conditions read by me. First, I move to approve all continuance requests to the dates stated by me. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley,
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the continuances are approved. I move to approve the withdrawal request. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley,
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the withdrawal is approved. I move to approve application for calendar number 48424S. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley,
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the matter is approved. I move to approve application for calendar number 48524Z. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley,
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the matter is approved. I move to approve application for calendar number 48624S. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley.
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the matter is approved. I move to approve application for calendar number 48724Z. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley.
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the matter is approved. I move to approve application for calendar number 48824S. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley.
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the matter is approved. I move to approve application for calendar numbers 48924Z, 49024Z, and 49124Z. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley.
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the matters are approved. I move to approve application for calendar number 49224S. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley.
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the matter is approved. I move to approve application for calendar numbers 49324Z and 49424Z. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley.
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the matters are approved. I move to approve application for calendar numbers 49524Z and 49624Z. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley.
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the matters are approved. I move to approve application for calendar number 524Z. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley.
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the matter is approved. I move to approve application for calendar number 50124S. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley.
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the matter is approved. I move to approve application for calendar numbers 50224Z and 50324Z. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley.
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the matter is approved. I move to approve application for calendar number 50424Z. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley.
No.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the matter is approved. I move to approve application for calendar numbers 50524Z, 50624Z, 50724Z, and 50824Z. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley.
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
No.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the matter is approved. I move to approve application for calendar number 51024Z. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley.
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the matter is approved. I move to approve application for calendar numbers 51124S and 51224Z. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley.
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the matters are approved. I move to approve application for calendar number 51324S. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley.
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the matter is approved. I move to approve application for calendar number 51524S. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley.
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the matter is approved. I move to approve application for calendar number 51624S. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley,
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the matter is approved. I move to approve application for calendar number 51724S. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley,
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the matter is approved. Move to approve applications for calendar numbers 51824S and 51924Z. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley.
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller.
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the matters are approved. I move to approve application for calendar numbers 52324S, 52424S.
21.
What?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, I move to approve application for calendar numbers 52324S, 52424S, 52524S, and 52624Z. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley,
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, the matters are approved. I move that we recess until 2 p.m. Commissioner Schiller seconds, Commissioner Staley,
Yes.
Commissioner Soto.
Yes.
Commissioner Schiller,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks.
Yes.
I vote yes, we're in recess until 2 p.m.
Do we have anything coming off of it?